Hi, my name is Theodore Cottingham, no longer a suffering believer in God, for God to do things for us, for me, in the way that we've been taught. For I bring the good news. I bring the good news of me, the good news to me. I bring me the life, the way. And you decide whether it's the truth or not. For I am the way, the truth, the life. And who am I? I am you in your mirror. See those eyes? Those are my eyes. My breath that you breathe. Cling to me, not in flesh. Cling to my words, not. Let them be free in you to be me, who is you, the living word of, who flows it, who flows the truth, becoming the truth, setting you free. You do. With your word. That's mine. One mind of. The mind of him. Not the mind of you. The mind that is one. O-N-E, no longer one, W-O-N, by a theory. No longer submitted to a theory. No longer submitted to a worship plan, a plan of salvation, a plan of submission, surrender, subservience, and then death. You see, I have another plan. Or do you? Or will you write your own? Will you write your covenant? Your contract, your understanding, your submission, your surrender to you to be the real you, no longer in flesh, limited to it. You see, I showed this picture a day or two. But see, as we continue to build each day, build on what? The previous understanding, revelation, becoming who we are, that no longer tries to peg truth. We're no longer trying to understand truth. We're letting ourselves become it. We are letting, being gentle with you. I love you. I want you to be gentle with you, but truthful. Truthful? Assuming nothing. Assuming a new life. Not usurping another. Are you willing to live yours now? Not the one you've been taught to be. Are you willing to live your life instead of the life that everybody has taught you to live and how to live it? How to wear your hair? How long to wear your skirts? To wear one? blue jeans, cutoffs, hot pants, see-through blouses? Are you willing to be who you are? The light. So I have the most audacious good news. It's beyond plasticity thinking. It's beyond the neurons. It's so far beyond the control of religion, the control of man, the control of space, time. Are you willing to see Jesus the pattern? Jesus as the pattern. Jesus as a pattern for you, your life. Not that you accept something, but you begin to let yourself see through the eyes of one who is the message growing it through you, through your words. The legal means of not, but perfection. Coming into a perfection that perfects us so that we are no longer reclaimed by flesh. We're no part of a reclamation project for a labor force to increase some GDP of some country who wants to exercise limits over us, put us into education programs and teach us line by line, rote methods to dumb us down, make us intelligent robots for their workforce. You see, I show this picture again to bring up something that I've mentioned, but not stressed, not emphasized. You see, as a born-again light person, as a person who becomes born again to be a light person, a light person operates differently, communicates differently, and does not suffer the limitations of mankind in their mind and what we have between our ears, suffering with a groaning flesh, looking for the day a God may come. Relief may appear. But here's one of the main things that it seems like to point out today. When you begin to become the unlimited you, and you begin to speak a new language that teaches you to become what that language is made of, consists of, a new element, you begin to communicate differently without the limitations that we have grown up with. All light people communicate with one mind. Think about the ramifications of what I've just said. Meonics is a school. Meonics is a learning system. Meonics presents you a framework to go forward, to advance, to live a life of love. Creating the creator again, who is you. To create you through your word that is not separate any longer from the creator of all joy. But see, here's the thing of today. You're not alone. You're not alone. You see, in our flesh bodies, we so often feel alone. We are alone. We feel alone. We suffer. Our communication is limited to a bandwidth of energy that our minds are using, that we speak on, that we hear a certain frequency and not others. We're operating in just a slice of life. We see through what? A vapor. We see through a glass darkly. Our life is but a vapor. But I am come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And who am I? I'm the audacious one. I'm the anointed one. I'm the one in your mirror. When you see the message, you become it. See the message of Jesus all the time. I suggest to you, become who I am, do what I do. We have the same Father. We have the same inception. We have the same capacity. That's what he was saying. The message was to be who we are. Not little people running around, going to a four-wall little building, sitting on a pew, raising our hands, waiting for the announcements. Somebody preaching over and 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 over the same sermon, 50 different ways. There's no life in that. There's no flow. It's stagnant. It's putrid. It's the lie of lies that says, you are not your creator. And when you're willing to see it, that's not enough. When you're willing to be it, that's not enough. But when you're willing to become it in a process that beholds you, that you grow you with your word, to see that you are the son, you are the daughter, the offspring of God, before God was ever a God, before God was ever a thing, when love was pristine, pure, and perfect. Somehow, I go back to this idea. I want you to understand you're not alone. This is not you against the world. This is not you against everything. This is not you separate from I am. When you begin to come into the truth, to behold it, to flow it, to learn to channel the I am, the full regalia of the full spectrum, full energy, it's no longer limited to just a tiny slice of the visible spectrum of energy. You can see infrared light, gamma light, X-rays. You're invisible. You're unlimited. You're not of this world. You had a different origin than what you've been taught. And my friend, we have a different future, because we are becoming light people again, light beings who fashion ourselves not after the flesh again. So we no more torment us with a lie, nor torment each other. We're no longer comparing ourselves to their shape and how much they weigh, what their bank account must be. None of that matters. You begin to see a different life for you. One that you're not alone in. One that you are no longer seeking friends. You're no longer wishing you had somebody to sit down and share love at your table, to share love, to love, to love, to love intensely, love intimately, to love deeply, not sensually, transcending the sensual, where there's a way that you actually give yourself to each other intimately. The most intimate of all. Spirit to spirit, love to love. Unconditionally, not based on sex, because it's not based on molecules. It cannot be controlled with the energy of this world. This is what Meonics is about. This is what Meonics, being the real me. If you believe me, become me. If you love me, do the works that I do and greater. You see, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Who is I am? I am the way, the truth, and the life. Who is I am? It's you and your mirror. No longer beholding a man, but the woman. The woman, the gender, the perfect. The seed that grows the seed, because the seed is the word, the living word that comes into the womb. And men, if you're not willing to forge and grow a womb, you will die. You'll get decrepit and die with your molecules. But the womb is not spirit. The womb is real that I'm talking about. That's transcendent. It's not limited by time, space, gravity, or your molecules, your quarks, your organelles, or your neurons, your erotic behavior, or your preferences, tendencies for anything else of flesh. This is going beyond. This is where we take hold of our life, but we become willing to understand, to create the leadership that is required for you to march out of hell. And to leave hell alone. But no longer be afraid of it or affected by it. So that you're no longer afraid of the lion's den. You can walk through the lion's den. Pet them. Because they know you won't hurt them. They feel something different. You walk with an energy. You walk with a knowledge, a database. No longer of confusion in your spaghetti brain. Where do I get so many of these terms? Spaghetti brain? Where do I get so many of these metaphors? that I speak so often with, whether you realize it or not, they come directly from Database 1. Database 1, my covenant that I wrote, that I encourage you to know and glean and be a gleaner and learn from. The foundation of the school is love. But what about the data, the curriculum, the understanding to help proclaim a new day in you, your life of, so that you're not alone? The I am is us who will be it. Taking our clothes off, not for another, but dismantling the flesh of our power, the power of our flesh to be separate, to be who we really are, to reveal what we really look like, whether you think it's this or whether you think it's one or the other. Many pictures that I've shown you. I have a stack of them I printed out because they speak. They speak. And see, this is you. Walk through the door. Be ready, be willing. Be the energy that is cataclysmic to this world. Because you are walking out of the dimensions of the framework of suffering if you're becoming me. Me, the real me. John 14:12. If you love me, become me. That's my interpretation of it. You see, you're being connected now with people all over this world and farther, if you're willing. If you'll no longer be afraid of ET, if you'll no longer be afraid of an alien, if you no longer be afraid of an apparition, a ghost, the invisible man, the invisible woman, the invisible truth, to come into the truth that knows no end. But see, again, it just keeps coming, welling up within me. You're not alone. You're not alone to do this. You're not alone to be this. You're becoming connected to the connected one. One is many thousands, millions. Meonics is a learning system. Meonics is a learning system. It's not about taking your clothes off for another person. Married? Married. Do they own you? I'm asking you to not be subservient to anyone, anything, anywhere, for any purpose whatsoever. I'm asking you to come into the authority of you, to see the real you and to behold you. Between your ears, the palace of light. The palace of light that you're walking in. The kingdom of heaven is within you. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. Folks, I'm not going to the Father. I don't want the Father of light. Well, let's define who the Father is. Do you consider the Father the one that said, I am a jealous God, and I'm so jealous. I am so jealous, and my wrath is so great, in my vengeance, I will visit the sins of your children to the third and fourth generation? I don't want any part of that God. I defeat that God. I defeat God. That God, that motive of control to make us subservient, to use our bodies, to live in our mind. You see, this is about the mind. It's about more than the mind. The mind of the Creator. Meonics is about the mind of the Creator creating the Creator again, so that you no longer worship you in separation, thinking you're a separate entity, that you're alone, that you're wise in your own eyes, or that you're a fool, either one. And this, my friends, is a process. It's a process of light becoming light again. Meonics, you're not alone. Meonics. Communication beyond the stars. Communication, not limited to words. This school, my school, me school, where you're learning to become the real you. Not in isolation anymore, but you, where you are receiving direction, you're receiving directly communication from the stars, from love, from God. I can't use that word God anymore unless I differentiate it. Though anytime I use God and don't differentiate it, I'm talking, unless it's clearly otherwise, I'm talking about love, original source love. It doesn't matter whether you call God source, universe, Betty, Joe, Susie, Ralph. This is about becoming a new creation. You see, Christianity has robbed us from understanding who we are, where we are, and what our capacity is to understand and receive the truth, to become the truth of a new people, a new race, where love teaches you directly, so that we're no longer a mechanical race dumbed down by the neurons, the millions, the billions of neurons in your brain. You see, love did not put me in this flesh. Not pure love. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Love says, I will never leave you or forsake you. Love says, I love you. Love says, I will give you love. Friends, love says, I will be you. And you be me. And we will be one. And one can do anything. One creates the creator, and all the creators are connected. And this connection system changes the world. And earth will no more groan in its flesh, nor its molecular form, to be separate. You see, I've shown this so many times in past months. One of my most favorite pictures. I speak so often of the table of one where you learn to receive like this, where you're willing to pick up your pen and write the first person words of original source love, not the God that supposedly creates a hell, watches your every act, keeps track of your every sin. I'm asking you to see be. I'm asking you to see this day a new heaven and a new earth. And you're not part of it. You are it, the creator of it, all connected to the creators to be the creator. One. Begin to see. Begin to become pregnant with your word, the living word. The living word that you, in fact, channel. That is, in fact, the curriculum of the school. That you learn you can't live without. Because you're forming a new life. See, you're no longer separate from the Creator. You're no longer a spectator. You're no longer playing around in the sandbox in the first or second grade, thinking there's a separate devil running around with its demons and all of its power, and you should be aware. Beware of false teachers. Beware of this, that, and the other. And God's keeping a record. God's keeping a record. Don't you sin. My friends, see, there's so much more. It's time to grow up and lay aside the elementary principles of this world, even of the resurrection, and begin to resurrect you. If you experience resurrection, it's with your power that you no longer alienate from yourself. You see, again, one of my most favorite pictures I call the dress of light. The dress of light, where each day, with each lesson, every time you go into the holy place, every time that you sit down at the table of one, every time you do this, you are doing this. You are creating the light. Not by the language of syllables. Those syllables will come through you because you're connected to the light. And the light communicates the way only light can. With perfect love. So the destroyer, the accuser of the brethren, the destroyer and all of its demons, you render powerless in your life because you're coming into knowing, being who you really are. You're not alone, my friend. We are coming out of our flesh to become new creations of a new race through our word, the living word, the living energy, original source love. Before a God was ever invented. Don't you love it? Freedom. Freedom to each other, freedom for each other. This is where you come to school and you help each other cheat. No, you help each other learn because you no longer learn in isolation. This is where everything you learn, you share, and you help each other with language, math, with surrender, with love. It doesn't matter what color they are. Blue. green. You see, we're creating the temple, not made with hands. No longer constricted by our brain, our neurons, our imagination. Wow. Your house looks like this? Mine does. Or is this the school you go to? Aren't these great? I love them. When you're willing to be the truth, naked of any form, no longer fashioned by the words that create you in form, to be in your suffering, your isolation, your torment, your state of disease or decay. We walk into a new place of no need at all. Populate the human race, populate the earth, be fruitful and multiply. No. We are not populating the earth anymore. And the womb of sorrow will no more be opened to reproduce flesh in suffering, the suffering of. For we will know we are a light people, not restricted to earth again, in the magnetosphere, in the magnetic world of temperament, temper tantrums, man's control, and and patriarchy. We are no longer on the assembly line of religion with some kind of AI, creating AI by our DNA. We are no longer two genders. We are becoming again the original gender of original source love. This, to experience, see, I'm redefining what the new birth is. Now look, I love this picture. This is who I want you to see as you this day. In love with love. And see who is in your wake. Okay, I go now, winding up. We must see, central to all of this is learning how to learn. To learn by the operation of the new covenant, the unlimited covenant, the eternal, infinite, everlasting covenant. The covenant of the living word that you learn to let flow through you as you channel the energy source, the origination of the original creation again of light. Meonics is a learning system. We're no longer worshiping some kind of sensual figure. We're no longer on the sidelines because, you see, we learn all of this, the God of wrath, vengeance, judgment, God that says, go into a far country and conquer it, slaughter all the men, women, and children, and cattle, burn their lands, salt their fields. Has no power over you. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not doing this alone. You're doing this with Meonics, in Meonics, through Meonics. Meonics is a framework to release you, to redefine everything, to redefine who we are in our limitless state of being love to each other. No longer populating the earth, but creating heaven. And who are we? We are all who will be the real us. Connected and communicating. First by syllables, but not for long. See, we are no more in confusion because we no more wear the pictures of religion. We no more wear the words that constrict us. We no longer wear a different law, nor are we seeking a bigger, better truth. We're finding out. We're finding out who our love belongs to. We're no longer looking for a man to satisfy us or a woman to meet our need. We're becoming who we really are, transcendent, the I am of the I am, the most humble of all. See, there's no arrogance in love. There's no superiority in love. There's no hierarchy in love, so there's no patriarchy. None. I abolish all that. Or do you? See, if you love me, do what I do. Not patterning your life after my flesh life, but understanding who I am, the message. And yes, there's over 1,000 videos on YouTube of my channel now. But if you're just coming into Meonics, you're just coming into the knowledge of who you are. Are you willing to learn to rightly divide the word of truth? Meaning, look at truth, examine truth, and divide it, not to conquer it. But examine your truth, because a lot of your truth is not true at all. Not the truth that we've been taught, not the truth that we have lived. We have loved a lie. We have been complacent and we have been complicit because we've taught what we knew. Because we taught what we were taught rather than letting the living word flow through us every day. The energy of the new creation me, the me that's you, Meonics. Okay, I go now. You're not alone. You're beginning to understand, aren't you? You're assembling something. As you assimilate, you become it. This, my friend, is all about the new birth of the new creation you. The new me. The me with the picture that I gave you in starting, where all of us are connected. And you're no longer looking for me or Jesus or anybody else to come set up his kingdom. You're becoming yours. You see, the kingdom of heaven is within you. All access, all freedom, all the universe is waiting on you, connected to all love. Be selective. Discern now. Discern the motive and intents of the heart. Discern the motive and intents of God, of love. Separating God from love, understanding the difference, becoming the real you. Do the things I do. No, I want you to do the things you do because you have love. You are love. And when you become love and you see you have experiences, you have a knowledge base, you have power and authority, you have a knowledge base, you have a base of experience. You have lived many lives. And now we're no longer trying to isolate each other. We're no longer living our lives just trying to know good from evil and be good. We are eating of the tree of life that doesn't compose a lie. There's no Belial. There's no beast in the pit. The revelation, pardon me, the revelation of who I am is I am becoming it. The I am in your mirror. Behold the one, the promised child. Love equally. Love every child, every race, every country. Care. Intentionally, deliberately. Care. Care about what's going on in Sudan. Care. If you don't know, find out. Begin thinking globally. Begin a new education system of Meonics, where you become the real me, where you don't just think about, you understand the people in Sudan is your brother, your sister. And if you don't care about them, don't come to this school because you're not ready. But if you're ready, if you're ready to go off the high dive, what's this idea about a high dive? Doing something you're afraid to do, but you choose to do it anyway. Channeling. When you first begin to channel, it's like going off the high dive. You can find the phrase high dive in the words of Database One, my covenant, the first 2,400 words that I channeled over the period of about 5 years. Pardon me. You can look up online and search, a word search, high dive. You can look up new birth. You can look up Meonics. Because, see, you're creating something. This is a process of creation. The new birth is about you assembling, assimilating, growing, creating the new you. It was all about you. The revelation of the one is truly about the one in your mirror. I love you. Thank you for listening, for sharing, for being who you are. Loving love. Listening, loving. Being willing to high dive, being willing to channel, willing to get up at 2 a.m. and meet who? Your lover. Your lover? The voice, the energy of one. That which needs no form. But begins to wear you. You and it become one, the Word. You and the Word, the living Word. So that you emit words who no longer condemn, that no longer condemn someone, but create. Creation is much more powerful than condemnation. I create love, joy, and peace. That's my name, Theodore Cottingham. TheodoreCottingham.com. An old guy in Eureka Springs. I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for realizing I don't do this for entertainment. I don't do this as just some teaching for you to go your way. And after you've looked at a reflection of yourself, forget what you look like. I'm asking you to see your beauty. Not dependent upon your shape, but love. Will you love me? Feed them. But Master, they're hungry. They've been here all day. Should we go to town and get something for them to eat? You feed them. No longer abdicating who we really are. Be original source love to you first, to you this day to you first. Love you, forgive you of everything that you've done and not. No remorse, no regret, no guilt. And we no longer put any guilt on anybody else for any other thing that they've done or not done. We don't shame each other. We don't keep a list of wrongs. We love each other. But we walk in leadership to walk out of the pit. Because we understand, like the prodigal son, there's another reality. A reality where you don't feed the pigs, walk in the squalor, the shit of everybody else's words and their thinking. You're no longer tormented by the excrement of their mind. It can no longer stick to you because you are becoming unmolecular. the timeless one, the real one, to walk in light, love, and peace. Enjoy this day. I'm Theodore Cottingham. My website is theodorcottingham.com. I invite you to explore my website. I continue to change it because I continue to change me, because I continue to channel. I continue in my school that I am in school of, that I am creating a school of. And I invite you to be a part if you're willing, if you're ready. If you choose, it's not easy. You learn to write. You learn to share. You choose to share. You choose to teach, and you choose to learn from each other in humility. And the arrogant will be sent home. For there's no arrogance in love. There's no jealousy in love. There's no jealousy in love. So if you worship a jealous God, okay, you get what you choose. And you create what you worship. I'm asking you to be the light of the world. For when you know who you really are, you're the light of the world. You're the I am. Coming into realizing, understanding, growing the fruit of the tree of life, where you understand it all. And it's no longer a mystery of Christ or an unknowable God. You are the way, the truth, and the life. The only way for you to come into you is to become the real you, where you're no longer walking out the life of another because of their words, their projection, their want. I'm asking you to delight in being you. Pick up your pen and write me. I'm in Eureka for now. A common guy. I love you. TheodoreCottingham.com. Be the real you. Thank you for your comments, you who have written me. Some very kind words spoken to me these last few hours. Thank you. Heal the land? Be the promise. For you are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, because there's only one. And the one is all of us connected in the one mind, transcendent of all that we have been limited to. This is Meonics. I hope you understand. I hope you love. Live now. Love each other. Forgive each other. Forgive you first. Forgive your son, your daughter, your parents, your neighbor, your employer. Walk in love, who you really are. Okay. Thank you for the great privilege to share these words with you, this time with you, to encourage you, bless you, honor you. I bow before you all. Crown you with the loving kindness, creating the one you really are. Good day. TheodoreCottingham.com. See you.